Hi everyone, welcome to Longmeadow Farm. We're going to show you some cider production and apple cider vinegar today. Come and check it out. Longmeadow Cider, I've known Pat, Catherine and Peter for a number of years now. We've met them at festivals and trade shows, and we've worked with them supplying them bottles and yeast, and a lovely local family really trying to put a stamp on the market with their cider, apple juice and other products in relation to the farm here. So I'm going to take you through the production facility and give you a bit of an insight on what it's like in here. So if we go over here, this is the apple press. This is a flatweg press. What happens here is this is for loading into the press. So you'll have a crate of apples. I'll get tipped up into this. It'll go through here where there's a washing process takes place, and then this conveyor will be taking this up into a system that will mash and pulp the apples. So it'll go through here, and then what will happen is it'll come out, obviously connected to the press here. It'll come out as a pulp, and then it'll go into the apple press. So as it goes into the apple press, it'll go through here, extracting all the juice and the really nice fresh apple juice coming out of the pulp of the apples will be collected here. It's taken and placed into storage, so we can see they're getting ready to do a bottling run with some of the ICB cubes here of juice. So they do a lot of different products here. So they'll do cider. If they're doing cider, that requires a fermentation stage. So what they would do is they would add yeast to the cubes and ferment in the cubes. If they're doing juice, obviously it's freshly pressed juice. So the juice then needs bottled and then gets pasteurized. So you can see that there's a bottling machine that's capable of doing multiple different types of bottles here. So bottles loaded in here through the conveyor, and collected at the bottom end. So you can see these baskets. What will be happening here is the bottles, as they come off the line, be loaded into the baskets, and then they'll be taken back over here again. This is a pasteurization tank. What they will have done here is put a little bit of water in. It'll be heated. So you can see the water filling in here. Basically, there's heating elements in the base, you can see them in the bottom there, and then there's this suspended floor which will hold the basket up. The reason for pasteurization is to prevent re-fermentation and to protect the liquid that's in the bottle. Forgot to mention, basically if the juice is here and the juice is going to be bottled, obviously they can bottle it as a freshly pressed juice, without carbonation. If they want to carbonate it, it'll go into this carbonation, which is, it's just basically a bright beer tank. So they'll put the liquid in here, they'll force carbonate it, and then they can package. So the bottling machine's able to package pure juice. It's able to package carbonated juice, whether that be for cider or whether it be for just fresh apple juice. There's a lot of new storage facilities. So they have 6 in use at the moment that have just been installed, with another 2 still to go. So what's unique about these rooms, the reason they have these little windows in them is so that they can obviously get easy access for checking without opening them up, but they remove the oxygen from the air to try and preserve the apples, because the apples obviously are only harvested at certain times of the year, once per year. They go into storage here. You can see them in the wooden crates. The oxygen's removed from the room to protect them, and they're refrigerated at a set temperature. You'll notice everywhere you walk here, there's orchards surrounding the area. So my understanding is that they have somewhere in the region of 100 acres of orchards, producing somewhere in the region of 8 to 9 different varieties of apples to create different flavour profiles, to have different tannic levels, and allow them to produce great juices and great ciders. I'd mentioned that obviously there's cider required to be fermented, so it's fermented in the cubes, and you can see here, you know, obviously the yeast forming on the top of that there. So cider fermentation takes place in these ICB cubes, which is quite unique for cider production, because when I remember when we started a brewery many years ago, we did try fermenting beer in cubes, and it's not an easy process. It needs to be stainless steel, whereas Cider's a lot more forgiving, and you can get away with it using this process. So you can see cider fermenting here, cubes all over the place. Okay, so it mentioned that everywhere you look there's orchards surrounding the building, so you can see at this time of the year, this is being filmed end of January. Obviously harvest is totally complete. The place looks very bare. There's no foliage, there's no fruit, but you can see this is what the apple trees look like at this time of the year. If you come here during summer, you're going to find beautiful foliage everywhere, and the trees laden with fruits, and orchards stretching for acres upon acres out of view, with plans obviously to introduce a tea room and tourist attraction where you can come do a tour of the facility here, get to enjoy some nice home cooked meals, and just generally get to know the family that run the farm. Okay, so we're just walking back over to the main reception. We're going to have a chat to Pat about the farm and hear about the cider that he makes. Okay, so joined now by Pat McKeever. So Pat, this is your family farm?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. How long are you at this now?
Well, the farm, Daddy got the farm a little over 60 years ago.
Yeah.
But we started the cider here roughly 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So we are. Well, it got to the stage where we were growing the apples, and then we decided we want to do something else with it.
Yeah.
So we said we'd go into cider. So we got a neighbour over the road to crush us a few apples. We started just over 1,500 litres.
Yeah.
And then we decided what were we going to call it, because we thought of McKeever's, no. And then Calvin actually said one night, well, sure, the farm's called Longmeadow.
Yeah.
So we just said, right,
Longmeadow
we'll call it Longmeadow Cider.
Yeah.
So that's where it all took off. And the first two we brought out was our Blossom Burst and our Medium.
Yeah. How many have you now? Is there more than the 5 on display?
No, we have these 5 here plus our juices, but we have another couple of new lines coming out this year.
Yeah.
Around April, May, so we have.
It's very much a family business.
It's a family, yeah.
Yeah. How many of you work here?
Well, at the moment there's Calvin, Peter and I, and then Lana's coming home to come on board.
Right, okay.
She's going to be doing the tasting area down the orchard.
Yeah.
But the whole family helps.
Yeah.
Because Calvin has her dairy, and everybody has to see this dairy coming out.
Yeah.
Because like every weekend there's something going on.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the growing year here for you. So take us through the stages.
Well, at the start of the year, at this time of year, we're out in the orchard pruning.
Yeah.
So we are. This is the time you want to get the pruning all done before you start the spraying season.
Yeah.
And the spraying season would normally start between middle of March, start of April.
Yeah.
It all depends on the weather, the climate changes. So you're doing your pruning now, and then you start your spraying. That'll bring you up until blossom time.
Yeah.
Till the flower comes out.
Yeah.
And we'll keep our fingers crossed to see if there's no frost.
Yeah.
To see what the apples at. Last year was a fantastic year.
Yeah.
There was apples every. In fact, there was nearly too many.
Yeah.
It was the biggest year of fruit we ever had.
Yeah.
So to tell you the truth, we're hoping this year that frost does come and hits it a wee bit of a nip.
Yeah.
To cut it back a bit.
Yeah. They say that you don't get 2 bumper years back to back, or is that a wives' tale?
I've never seen, and we hope it doesn't happen this year, because we do not need it. Because we have all the stores, all the new stores filled, plus we built another big one.
Yeah.
And we were lucky we got rid of a right lot of apples before harvest started.
Yeah.
But what we were left with, we crushed it all and turned it into, we're going to turn it in now at the end of this month into vinegar.
Right,
It'll do a second fermentation, and then we'll put that into the vinegar.
Yeah. Cider production, it's not as complicated as beer.
No, it's not, thank God.
Yeah.
From what I hear about the beer.
Yeah. So you do, you press the apples, wash the apples, press the apples.
We wash the apple. The apple's pressed over here through the Vico press.
Yeah.
Flatwell press. And then what we do, we'll let it sit for roughly 24 hours to 36 hours. We'll rack it off and we'll put it into the IBCs. Yeah. What we'll do then, we'll add a pexine, rack it off, and then we'll add a good champagne yeast. Yeah. So we will, and then we'll do a fermentation. We'll wait that there. Peter will do readings on to see how it all. Yes, the sugar content. It all depends. It's different to the beer. If it's warmer, because most of our IBs will sit outside. Yeah. We do notice the first juice that we would press in October. It's finished nearly in 2 weeks. Yeah. But we have only some, I can show you next door, it's only nearly finishing now, and that's from apple time. Because that real cold weather we had a while back, they nearly froze again, so that's stalled it. Yeah. So we had to wait.
Yeah. And how does that still give you the same level of consistency, or do you have to do an element of blending then?
We'll do an element of blending,
Right.
but that's like cider might be different to beer. Like, you know, it can change in taste.
Okay.
We try to keep it as much as we can, like.
Yeah.
But we would try and keep a blend there, say maybe 5,000 litres. Before that'll go down, we'll add to it.
Yeah.
And sort of maybe keep the consistency coming through.
Yeah. And if you're making cider at home, we have a lot of home brewers watch
Yeah.
the channel. Any tips for them on how to get a good quality cider?
We have heard of ones, they're not releasing the valve in time, the drums is exploding.
Yeah.
Clean your apple, make sure everything's well sterilised. That's something we would use a lot here.
Yeah.
We would be using so like a peracetic acid to clean, and make sure everything's clean. Wash your apples.
Yeah.
Try and not be lifting. If you are getting apples and they're off the ground, but there's no soil or debris on them,
Okay.
give them a bit of a clean. Because
Yeah.
that's what we have. We have the tank here. It's washed the apples, clean it before it's crushed,
Yeah.
which is a big sensor, like
Yeah.
down the bacteria.
And if you're watching this at home, where can you get the cider locally?
Well, all our local Sainsbury's have it in.
Okay.
If you go onto our website, you'll see it in all the different restaurants or our sales that we have it in.
Yeah.
We think, as far as I know now, it's in up to over 100 outlets in
Very
Northern
good.
Ireland.
Yeah.
So happy enough.
What's the vision for the future?
I would say yes, the cider. We will keep going on with the ciders. The flavours go at a certain time of the year. Our oak goes very well in around Christmas time, we've noticed.
Yeah.
But our two best sellers all the time is our medium and our blossom burst.
Yeah.
But we have a couple of new lines coming out, so we're going to try it.
How many different types of apples do you grow in the orchards?
Well, we have about 8 to 9 different varieties at home.
Okay.
So we have.
And is that a mixture of bitter, sweet,
No, we've
tannic?
no bittersweet. We buy them in. We've no bittersweets. For all of the bittersweets that we would use,
Yeah.
I don't want to be taking out good apple trees to put the likes of that in.
Yeah.
We can buy that in every couple of years.
Yeah.
But we have taken out orchards and we're planting more sweet apple than
Okay.
Bramley.
Yeah.
And we have put in a few new varieties there of Red Elster and John Gore Prince.
Yeah.
Gives a lovely, nice, crisp juice.
And do you sell apples as well, or do you keep everything on site?
We keep everything on site, but we do sell apples to the processing market. We don't use everything
Okay.
through here yet.
Yeah,
I would love
but that's the
sometime
aim, to use
That's
it all.
the aim
Yeah.
over a period of time. But we grow roughly over 1,500 tonne of
Okay.
apples a year, so we do.
Yeah, that's an incredible amount of apples.
This year it went over 2,200 tonne. Never had that before. It was
Yeah.
amazing. Ran out of bins. Everybody was filling everything.
Yeah. And when it comes to harvest, is it all hands on deck, as in
It's all
working
hands.
night and day?
This is going to be very good for us here, because if we had been working in to get a bottom, you had to stick to that date. At least now, if we want to do a bit of a bottom, we can maybe do it at night or do it at the weekend.
Yeah.
But come picking time, the first things to do is to get all the bins into the orchard.
Yeah.
That'll start at say middle of August.
Yeah.
Come the end of August, the first apple that is lifted is Grenadier. We don't use any of that yet. We are thinking that Peter wants to try something that this year in the vinegar.
Yeah.
It's a tarty apple. It's not nice in the cider.
Yeah.
And then the next apple we will lift will be the Katie apple.
Yeah.
We will grow maybe a couple of 100 bins of it, and we'll crush that there. We'll turn that in for cider, so we will.
Yeah.
And then it's into the Bramley.
The juice side of things, is it doing well as well?
Juice is really picking up. It has
Yeah.
done very well for us last year.
Yeah.
So we have been surprised even this month so far what has went out,
Yeah.
because we're now into a lot of farm shops with it, and
Yeah.
we've seen it is really doing well.
Yeah. I was pleasantly surprised to see the scale of the vinegar. I didn't realise you were churning out thousands
No,
and
the
thousands of
vinegar,
litres.
the first year we started the vinegar and we thought we were doing well, we hit something like 3,500 litres.
Yeah.
We had no machine then.
Yeah.
All we had was a wee pump, and we were bubbling in a 200 litre.
Yeah.
And we were racking out 5 gallons at a time.
Yeah.
And we were trying to do that, and all was done by hand bottled.
Hand bottling, yeah.
And then it's just that when I was at a certain place one day, and I happened to see 4,000 litres going into this place,
Yeah.
and they just said to me, "No, we bring a lot of vinegar in from England."
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
But then when we started looking at the machine, we got the machine built. Now we had a lot of vinegar. You can make up to 2,500 litres of vinegar a day.
Yeah.
What we do, we'll run the machine for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. We make roughly 30,000 litres.
Yeah.
We send a batch, set that at a time
Yeah.
till we get that away. Last year it was amazing the way it went out.
Yeah.
It was powerful, and
Yeah.
we're just hoping. We actually had vinegar went to Cornwall to Horsey people there last week, to Two Kettle people.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Look, guys, if you're watching this at home, the reason I do these videos, one, it gives you a glimpse inside a production facility, inside a farm. It gets to chat to a family business, but support your local cider producers. We really need you to. Pat and his family need you to, and they value your support genuinely. There's integrity in the brand. They buy their glass bottles, caps and yeast from us, so we appreciate that you're supporting local as well. So I'm going to pop the link to the website in the comments below. Check it out, buy some of the cider, and you'll see how good it tastes for yourself. Thanks for your time, Pat, and until next time.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.